This IOC room is for, I would say, the 30th anniversary of FIRSIT, but it's the 15th edition, since it takes place every 2 years. 30 years have passed, that's not just 30 days. And I think it's time, in addition to the theme, to take stock and assess the current situation. And so I would like to congratulate all the researchers, all the teacher researchers, all the inventors, all the innovators, for all the work that has already been accomplished, despite the difficulties that may arise along the way. Once I asked the minister why people need so much money to do research. He gave me just one specific example, saying that in order to analyze certain types of cells, people often need to travel to Europe to gain access to and pay for the use of advanced scanning electron microscopes, which are not always available locally. And many other things that he mentioned to me. And it was also that day that I realized that we do not have certain laboratory equipment. And I made a commitment that in 2026, maybe in the first quarter, the state-of-the-art, next-generation research equipment will be in Burkina Faso. I also made sure to be here today, to support you, to express all of my gratitude, all of my encouragement for everything you do, and to reaffirm that we will double our efforts, so that those who want to create, who want to invent, can do so. The page. Faso Amdoube was created. Many people have started to register, and we are still waiting for more people to continue signing up. Because we are in the process of building a center, which is called Faso Bangre, where all this equipment will be installed. And anyone who thinks they can create something will be able to come by, find the necessary equipment to develop their invention, or I would say, copy the inventions of others. Because rest assured, no matter how close your friendship is, when you buy something, as they say, they transfer the technology to you, but they don't transfer everything. Of course, there is the manufacturing secret that the person will keep. But there's nothing to worry about. We must not doubt our own abilities. Certainly, I encourage and congratulate you, but you really shouldn't remain at this stage. I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. I might be a bit harsh this morning, but the main objective is to wake everyone up, especially the youth. Because I'm going to speak frankly, without mincing words and without diplomatic language, once again. Of course, Africa is the cradle of humanity, and that's scientifically proven, isn't it? You scientists are the ones who discovered that. That means the first human came from Africa. And why is Africa last today? I think these are the kinds of debates that should be animating our talk shows, our TV, our scientific forums, to understand why Africa is last. You've asked yourself that question, I suppose. Something didn't work out. And today, Burkina Faso has decided to make a revolution. The revolution is certainly ideological, political, and behavioral, but it is also, and above all, scientific, technological, industrial, in short, and more. We shouldn't just stop at slogans. Because when we talk about revolution, we're talking about endogeneity. And when we say endogenous, it's not just about saying the word. We have to be able to work by ourselves and for ourselves. Personally, I believe that God is just. He created all men equal. We have the same organs. It's just that when it comes to the brain, I still think scientifically that most of us don't use even 10% of our brain's potential. And it's by working that we manage to tap into the brain's potential. But let's admit that we are very lazy. We don't work. Of course, at some point, even here in Burkina, concepts were introduced to us saying that a person shouldn't work more than 6 or 8 hours a day. And we adopted that, and we fight for it. But that's not based on anything. How can we possibly take on these kinds of rights, if I may call them that, and reasonably expect to catch up with the delay that we are currently experiencing? Today we have companies working day and night. Work that used to take 3 years is now done in less than a year. In any case, my friends, work is being done day and night. For projects that should have taken maybe 10 months, they're finishing them in a month. It's definitely possible. You know, they came to flatter us, to lull us to sleep with all sorts of concepts. We're going to have to get rid of that. That's also what revolution means. If we want to catch up, we have to get back to work. Africa can't be the cradle of humanity. God didn't create us to be foolish. He gave us brains just like everyone else. But we refuse to make use of the potential of our minds. Of course, those individuals who stand out with an intellectual quotient that is above the average, I would say they generally manage to succeed in their endeavors. However, very often these talented people are recruited by imperialists to go work for them. And due to a lack of patriotism in some cases, they agree to leave. For others, the environment here simply wasn't conducive for them to express themselves. They left. We urge those who want to return to come back and work here, for their homeland, for their brothers and sisters. I have a bone to pick with the youth. We need to wake up. I say it and I will keep saying it. Don't think that drinking, dancing, singing or partying, such as with friends, it can help us reach a certain level. With this kind of behavior, we can only remain slaves, just consuming and consuming what they produce. But above all, giving away our wealth, our resources at a cheap price, because we have no choice. We don't know how to do anything else. I am here to encourage research, to encourage innovation, to encourage technology. We need to be able to create. Let's take an example. We're in this room and here are fans spinning everywhere. What is stopping young Burkinabes from making fans, from setting up a company to produce these fans? At the very least, we can copy them. Here's the air conditioner. What is stopping us from making it? Do you think they're smarter than us? The reality is right there. How did our ancestors recognize what we now call a ferritic soil in the land around us? How did they manage to work with that challenging soil, extract iron from it, and then skillfully craft the tools they needed for their daily lives? Answer me. So were they smarter than us? So what is making us more and more foolish? We need to ask ourselves that question and use the right words. Since they did it, how did our ancestors extract gold, identify the soil where gold could be found, extract it, and become truly wealthy? The richest man was in Africa, in West Africa. Here, I believe, in Mali. How did it happen that today, just a few decades ago, all our gold deposits were handed over to others so they could come and exploit them and do whatever they want? Our ancestors were smarter than us, and we are dumber than they were. How did we become dumber? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's the word. That's the term. We say that we are revolutionaries. A revolutionary tells the truth. It might hurt, but it has to be said. So I want us to wake up. We can't keep going on like this and hope to prosper. It's impossible. Every period, every month, or often every quarter, I like to tell the Minister of Commerce. He sends me the status report on our imports. I look at the volumes and the amounts we send abroad to import products. Often it hurts me. Often just sit down and do a simple calculation. Do you want economic sovereignty? Do a simple calculation. Clothing, for example. If we take 20 million Burkinabe, who each spend 10,000 CFA francs per month and per year on clothing, and we import that, it amounts to 200 billion francs. But on average, each of you spends 10,000 francs a year on clothing just by buying shoes or something that is imported. Have we really become so foolish that we can't sit down, think, and see everything that comes from outside that we could actually create here? I don't believe that. Just clothing alone. There are many other sectors. The numbers are there. You might be able to see in some statistics what we import and what we could even produce ourselves here. The other day, I asked those from the Presidential Initiative for Quality Education, I don't know if they're here, to send me an update on the equipment for the lecture halls and classrooms we're building. What do they plan to do? How do they plan to equip them? They sent it to me and I took the time to read it over the weekend. I saw how many billions in contracts would need to be awarded for the equipment. You see, in your lecture halls, the students are there. In the lecture halls, your desks, in the offices, and everything that goes with it. There are a lot of lecture halls under construction, so that's a lot of equipment. I saw the standards they've set and all that. All this furniture would have to be ordered from abroad. So I told them, here's what's going to happen. Either we make this ourselves, using our own skilled carpenters and experienced welders right here in our facilities, or you go out into the bush, search for and gather all the available dead wood, carefully cut some sturdy stools from it, and then bring those stools back to the universities for use. When the students sit on those stools, if it hurts them, it's certain that among them, some will have the intelligence to create the kind of bench we're making. Or we can find right now carpenters and welders from here who will make the type of folding bench we want. But I think it's already underway, isn't it? The 10 capes, they're awesome. That means the resources are there. But why should billions be spent outside when people here can do the work themselves? You are capable of doing things. And besides, whether you're a minister, a director, or the president of an institution, there are more. Since last year, I was telling people, when I was doing the arbitration, those who had broken offices or whatever, I told them to take some stones and then prop them up until they don't fall. If they do fall, make new ones here. No one will import luxury furniture into Burkina for these offices. We will make them here. So those who have a project in 2026 to include in their budget the importation of furniture to have offices. Very beautiful, I don't know how. Forget it, that won't happen. We will make them here until they are as beautiful as we want, because no one will live in luxury as long as we haven't reached a certain level. If you want your luxury, you have to manage it yourself and use your own salary to create it. As for the rest, we will focus on work. And everyone needs to wake up. We have a lot of fun. Having fun is good, but we have to work first. But it's a policy to lull the continent to sleep. Let me take an event that happened. I have nothing against the organizers, nothing in particular. Miss University 2025. I think she won a lot of prizes. Maybe she's in the room here, I don't know. But at the very least, she received the check for 3 million plus all expenses paid, an all expenses paid trip to France by Campus France. Does that ring a bell? Does Campus France finance your event here? Okay. Which companies are supporting you and all that? I'll get to that in a moment. From now on, companies will contribute to research. You don't have a choice. Innovation. And when we talk about innovation invention, it's not necessarily those who are in school. There are some who aren't in school, who are doing very well, who manage to invent things. That's why these centers are being set up, to identify them, to give them some science, some scientific knowledge as well, and to allow them to settle in and manufacture what we want. We can't keep going down this path. And for those who import furniture, as I just mentioned, I invite you to find good carpenters here, form good teams, and start investing to produce the quality you want. You won't be able to import and rely on state and institutional markets. If I take someone who goes to secure a contract, it's at their own risk. We need to work. We need to work. Please. More than 100 years ago, others created powerful engines. What have we done in Burkina? More than 100 years ago, they learned how to detect oil, to extract it, to refine it, to create gasoline, diesel, and everything else. What are we doing in Burkina? More than 100 years ago, they created their own gunpowder, explosives. They manufacture ammunition and weapons. What are we doing? More than 80 years ago, they mastered the atom. They built the bomb. Nuclear, and today nuclear energy. What are we doing? Are they smarter than us? Do you believe that? If you don't believe in yourself, you really need to question yourself. Try to wash your own brain again to believe in yourself, because we can do it too. What I expect, what I want, we are at war, by the way. It's true that your focus is more on health, industry, and so on, and that's very good. As for defense matters, we'll handle that privately, because at the presidential level, we do have a department that deals with this issue. I want people to be able to come and tell me that they can produce an engine. We will support them. I want people to be able to come and tell me that they can manufacture the powder for our ammunition. We will support them. I want people to be able to come and tell me that they can make trinitrotoluene TNT, the basic explosive used in shells, even though there are more powerful explosives than that. We will support them. That's what we need. We can't go on like this. 100 years later, we can't even manufacture a part for an airplane. Maybe we can't even make the hub of a bicycle. You think that's serious? We are consumers, and we've been conditioned to be that way. And then you'll hear people debating. No, we can't do everything, we can't do this, we can't do that. And we've trained them to talk. And they no longer believe in Africa. No. We need to stop talking, we need to work. And actually, when we work and also have fun, that's the best way. But we can't go on like this. You have TV channels where it's all about dancing, entertainment, comedy, and that's it. I have nothing against artists, but we can't keep going like this. It's not possible. And we're going to put a stop to a lot of things. Don't be surprised if tomorrow you wake up and find that on your TV, there are channels that no longer broadcast. Because we're going to do it. We're going to make people work. We are also capable of doing things ourselves. We can't have been making pottery for millennia. And today, everything in your bathrooms, porcelain or otherwise, even your plates, we can't import them. Let's get serious. We need to change our mindset. And it's possible. Believe in yourself. That's the first factor. Believing in yourself, believing that you are capable of doing it. And when you fail while trying, it's not the end of the world. You have to start again, you have to persevere. If today you take a phone, take it apart to try to make one, and it breaks, it's not a big deal. You have to do it again tomorrow. Take your own motorcycle, take it apart completely, and try to put it back together to understand how it works. If there are some parts left over, it's not a problem, you just have to find another solution. It's good that it happens like this with laughter, but it's serious. So I invite young people to thoughtfully reconsider and reflect on a lot of important things. And as I said last time, when I met with the students during the Excellence Day, please, really stop doing useless and unproductive things on your social networks and digital platforms. There are pages, there are channels where you can learn science, where you can learn how to do things. I was saying, you will find Indians, Pakistanis, people from certain countries, in any case, who manage to make basic tools and post them on social media. Take an interest in that and try to reproduce it here. Instead of going to watch dances or even dancing yourself like a mask for reasons no one understands. But that's not it. But others encourage you in that. But look at some embassies here. They only fund that. Go to their embassies with a scientific or technological project or an invention you want to develop. That doesn't interest them. If you agree, they'll take you to their country. You go do it over there. But if it's to do it here, they'll never fund you. But if you go with an entertainment project, they'll help you, they'll fund you. and then they'll go out and say that it's to promote Burkinabe culture. Guys, we don't want that. We want technology first. Culture is ours. We'll fund our own culture and we'll find every way to do it. So, we're not asking anyone to come and fund Burkinabe culture. That's intrinsic to us, it's fundamental, we'll do it ourselves. We're not even asking anyone for help to do that. So try it, go to their embassies, present your inventions to do it here. They will never help you. And that doesn't mean anything to you. So I invite the youth to wake up. Scientists, researchers, make yourselves available so you can provide support. Those who haven't gone to school, someone might invent something, but they don't know the chemical composition. But it's up to you, researchers, when we send them to you, to be able to take their invention and say, okay, it's made up of this, and this component, and help them improve it to meet your needs. That's the kind of symbiosis I want to see through this type of forum. That's what can help us. I see that the lady from Adipro, I don't know if she's the patron of the forum, but I was there at the opening of the factory. When I was walking through the factory, I asked her a question. So, are there foreigners here to operate the machines? We want to industrialize. But for all that, we have to import. There are things you see in certain industrial units that you just can't understand. Just a conveyor belt with an electric motor turning it, but you have to import it. We shouldn't be afraid of God as to do sorry and watch and then copy and then do it ourselves. We go and pay for a long conveyor belt with an electric motor at the end that turns and moves things along. But we go pay over there. We can't manufacture it here. It's actually a sickness. And everyone needs to talk to each other so we can heal. There is a lot to do. As for me, your operating budgets, again, this year, I will cut them. To help young people who invent things and so on so they can manufacture things locally. So, get ready again. You're going to come, I'm going to cut your institutions, your whatever, I'm going to cut your operating budgets again. Because there's no point in holding workshops or whatever when we import everything you even use in the workshop. Here we are, talking into imported microphones. That's the truth. We can't go on like this. All the chairs you're sitting on, maybe they're imported, not even made here. So let's change. And it's possible. And maybe to finish, this is also to call out to those who invent and who are searching. Don't try right from your first invention or first research to become a multimillionaire and a big boss. A lot of people make this mistake. When they create something, well, the first government contract, the prices are at a certain level. We can't even, because he wants, with the very first order, to go buy the latest iPhone, the latest Samsung, the latest Huawei. He has 5 phones in his hand, walking around thinking he's become a big boss. No, that's not how it works. If you can't compete with imported goods, then please, take it easy, go slowly. It's also about the state itself providing the resources, and it's the state that funds everything. You can't take the state's resources, try to create something, and then make it your private property. It's first and foremost for the state. Now, there can be an agreement between you and the state so that industry can take this and produce it on a large scale. So industrialists absolutely must support research and innovation because they are the ones who will benefit from it. So we have no choice but to put something in place so that you contribute in one way or another. You sponsor a lot of entertainment events, so you can also sponsor young people who are going to invent. So get ready, that's how it will be done. And remember one thing to finish. We need everyone's brains, and everyone is capable of creating something. It is definitely possible. So all those who have full and well-filled minds, we need you. But we still need someone with a mind full of knowledge and a heart full of patriotism. But someone with a brain full of knowledge and a heart empty of patriotism, we do not want. Because that would be pointless. They would only pursue their own interests and not see the interests of the nation. Be patriotic researchers, you can bring about a revolution. I have confidence in you and I know you can do it. You have already worked miracles. There are some who have created things that is on a global scale. People have been researching for millennia without ever finding the solution, but in Burkina, we found the solution. There are some in Burkina, maybe it's just not as well publicized. Maybe we need to look at these things to publicize them better. So you are capable of creating. believe in yourselves, all of you who think you have sharp minds and hearts full of patriotism. We are waiting for you so we can move forward together to create, to innovate, and truly be the heart of West Africa. And to become a power, just as our father of the revolution envisioned for Burkina Faso. It is truly possible. It is truly possible for us to make use of our resources and live comfortably. You go to Dubai, I don't know where else, where you are very happy. China used to be behind, 50 years behind. You were far behind, but today it has surpassed everyone. It's through hard work. Let's work, and afterwards we can have fun. But we must not put entertainment as a priority. So I am counting on each and every one of you. I wish you a very good forum and some excellent discussions. And I asked about the prizes that are being given out. I took the example of Miss Burkina today. The first prize is 5 million, right? The second prize is 3 million, and the other prize is 2 million. Well, we are going to change things starting today. I hope there are some good inventions this time. If there are, we will multiply all the prizes by 5. Okay? So, the competition is open, and if first it has to be held every year to encourage people to create and invent more, we will be ready to take responsibility and invest whatever needs to be invested in it. So take that as a promise, you can count on it. Thank you all very much. I wish you a very successful forum, and I look forward to hearing about the results and the positive ideas that will come out of this forum. May God bless you all. May God protect our beloved homeland or death. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make Africa great. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, Africa.